Alright, hello and welcome everybody back to another video or stream, I guess. Thank you all for joining, and we are finally back after many weeks of no show in the CRJ. I finally got my Moza Yoke in, which you guys can see right here. I'll put it up on stream for you. This is the Moza Yoke, the Moza Yoke grip, the Moza Yoke base, and the Moza Yoke desk clamps, which I'm using here. It took me about 45 minutes, and CST Gaming's help to kind of get it all to where I kind of like it. I still need to mess with some stuff, but we'll still be messing with it. But basically, the problem I'm having is it doesn't auto center very quickly. You can see it just kind of stays. It kind of gets better in the air. The roll is pretty good, so I'm just trying to do that. It's mainly a software thing more than an actual hardware thing. And so far, I haven't really been experiencing so much of the feedback, more of the force part. But just as a yoke by itself, it's a very beautiful and awesome feeling yoke. You guys know that I did pay full price for this as well. I didn't get any discount. I didn't, although we are affiliated with Moza, and I do have an affiliate link down below that you guys can check out to purchase it if you want it. It will help the channel greatly if you do use my link down below. I don't actually, I didn't get this for free. I paid for this. So I've been waited about a month and 2 weeks for this, and we'll basically be flying it from Vancouver to Kelowna, and maybe on the way back, but probably won't have time for that part. So also with me today, I have put on both streams. We're also streaming in vertical and horizontal. We also have the PU Air Korea CDU you'll see on the left hand side. So I have 2 cameras, 2 mounts, and that is made possible by you guys, all you guys that are members of the channel, and all you guys that use my discount codes down below. That all helps the channel. I use that money to fund the channel to make better content. So it helped me buy this, it helped me get the cameras and all that kind of stuff. Shout out to PU Air Korea for sending me the CDU and the RJ faceplate among the other faceplates we have. We're also going to be using our CRJ, there's my pants there, my shorts. They're going to be using the CRJ Pro Sim throttle quadrant. If you'd like your own CRJ or a 737 or whatever throttle quadrant, be sure to check out my Pro Sim link down below as well. You'll save, I believe, 10%. Some news on Pro Sim: I actually purchased their 737 throttles. But he has also thrown an Airbus and 727 throttles. So as soon as those comes in, or they come in, we'll be flying the 73 and the 727 a little bit more. So we can get started here with saying hello to you guys in the chat. I really appreciate you guys all jumping in. Again, guys, we're streaming in both horizontal and vertical streams. You guys don't mind pressing the like button. We're also in 2020 today because 2024 with the SU Beta 3 update breaks the CRJ. It just does not work. So Mathis, welcome. Wasty Skymaster, Flight Sim Gaming's in the chat as well. Matthew 21, welcome all guys. Thanks for stopping in and thanks for joining today. Wasty says, does it have force feedback? It does. It depends on the airplane you're using. Some airplanes have a better telemetry force feedback that talks from the sim to the Moza software better, like the default aircraft and more general aviation airplanes. For the RJ, it's I haven't felt a lot of feedback, more force, if that makes sense. But the software has a long way to go. Skamash says, how do I get my hands on this yoke? You pay some money. It was about $850 US after tax and shipping. To get it here, it took about 1 month and 2 weeks. They're a little backed up on the website, but if you go to the description down below, guys, and press the Moza link right there that I have linked there with the /CMCFI, if you buy it there, it really does help the channel as well. If you want to buy your own yoke, or if you want to buy your own force feedback stick, they have racing wheels as well. It does look, yeah, it looks awesome, Wesley. Sorry, I called you Wasty. It's Westy. My mistake there. Probably going to get one waiting list to order one. Yeah, man. Again, if you guys do want to order one of these, if you can, use the link down below. Unfortunately, they haven't offered a discount code to me yet, although I've asked for it. So hopefully they will give that to me soon. Stick shaker test? That doesn't work. I could do it for you. It actually doesn't work. So I'll press the... yeah, you can see it doesn't do it. I don't know if there's a setting to turn on to make it do it. I haven't found one, but it doesn't do that. I have my own custom Moza CRJ profile that I've made. It took about 45 minutes, so I'm sure you can make it a lot better, but I have a little bit of flap vibration. I have a little bit of gear vibration. As in the real CRJ, you don't feel too much of that. And a little bit of spoiler vibration as well. When the spoilers start to come out, it'll just vibrate just a little bit. But the main thing that I wanted to try to capture as much as possible, and it's more in the air, but in real life, when you would on the ground, it won't do much, but if you pull up like this and let go, the yoke would actually do this really quickly, straight back to the center. The roll does it, but the pitch, not so much on the ground. In the air, it does it a bit more, but I'd like to see more of a snap back to the center. They have something called adaptive centering, which I've turned on and does a bunch of other stuff, and it doesn't seem to really do much. So the software, what I've done from research-wise buying this, is the hardware is legit. The grip feels amazing. This the shaft that goes into the base is awesome. The base is all metal. Where the problems lie is the shipping time. The buttons, some of them feel a bit cheap, like this gear one, but you got to save some money somewhere. I mean, this is a force feedback yoke for under $1,000. And the other thing that needs a lot of work is the software, and they are aware of this, and that's just because the Moza is brand new to the flight sim community. So you can see it shaking a little bit there. I don't know why, but I guess there's something going on outside. In real life, it's stiff. It ain't moving, at least in an RJ land. But I think this will really shine for you in its current state with the GA airplane. So I've actually gone ahead and bought the A2A Aerostar, and I will be looking at that as well to showcase you guys. Got to work out the software. Yeah, the software, it could be me doing stuff wrong, which is very true, and it's also, I just heard from other people that the software just isn't up to the standard that we would want to see it in. So in the vertical chat, hello, we got FNRL, welcome, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for commenting as well. If you guys can leave a like and subscribe, we have the subscriber count going on in your in the screen there. So let's go ahead and get this flight going. I'm going to go ahead and turn the yoke cam off for a second, but I'm going to leave the other camera for the CDU. This is the PU Air Korea CDU, and again, I don't have an affiliate link or anything for them, but if you'd like to purchase the CDU for yourself, it's down in the description down below. PU Air Korea is a company based out of Korea, and their FMS is quite unique in the fact that they make a hot swappable FMS, which I actually love. The difference is between Winwing and PU Air Korea, the Winwing is if you want bang for a buck and like complete ease of use, and you're only going to fly one airplane for the most part, you can buy the Winwing. The Winwing does, however, work with other airplanes. It's just not going to match the layout. The PU Air Korea, you buy the CDU, and then you get the faceplates. And you can pop on and off these faceplates. There's Airbus 720, not 727, Airbus, CRJ, MD-11, all sorts of different faceplates. So you can keep one unit and then just keep hot swapping the faceplate. The downside for this is there's an HDMI cord, but I don't really find too much of a FES hit. So that's how I determine. I tell people if you want to fly the Airbus and you love the Airbus or the 737 and you want bang for buck and ease of use, the Winwing all day long. But if you want something a little bit more high quality but a little bit more pricey, but you can also hot swap to different airplanes a little easier, the PU Air Korea is amazing too. The Winwing does work with other airplanes. It's just not going to have the same button layout. Whereas I can pull up my 737 button layout, hot swap it, and now I have a 737 button layout, if that makes sense. I have a video on it, so this thing is awesome. We're going to get to using this as well. So we're going to go over here to the iPad. Let's not turn that light on. Back in 2020 today, so we're using Chase Plane. Yeah, this is Mathis. This is my first flight with it. I've done like some landings with it, but this is my first full flight with it. Yeah, it's nervous. Flight plan, we're going to import from OFP. And we're also going to go ahead and we're not going to send to FMS because I'm going to show you how we use it there. We are going to set payload though. We'll have that do it for us there. So So go down to the FMS here, and I'll zoom in a bit so you guys can see it. And I'm just going to get my flight plan out so I can read it there. Alright, so we'll go ahead and we'll say we've taken this airplane from a different crew, so we'll go ahead and reset our IRS switches here. I just noticed it doesn't actually have that line just below. Huh, okay. Oh, and that doesn't work anymore. Let's see what I clicked. Probably broke it by doing something here. Oh, it's changing the left side. Whoops, my fault. Right CDU. There we go. So yeah, there should be, I think it might be my fault, but it should say initialized position as it does in the sim on the actual thing here. But it doesn't seem to be doing that, so I'll just let Kim know, but it might be my fault as well. Anyways, we're going to go FMS control, make sure everything is synced and we're magnetic heading. Position, next page, grab the coordinates, previous, throw it in there. Those are all done. We'll just verify everything else is good to go. Press flight plan. We're going from CYVR to CYLW. By the way, guys, these keyboards, this one feels really good. It feels like an actual button. And it has a very nice response and it clicks back, which it makes it easier to fast type. My camera stand is kind of like right here, so I'm having to like contort my hand to type, but you can really type very quickly in this if you get going. Beanie says now this is the real CRJ. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, we're doing that. Our alternate is going to be back to Vancouver. We're flight 272. This is actually done on a Q400. So, but anyways, as you guys know, we type in waypoints, then SIDS and stars. So we're going to go ahead and type Janek. And then we're going to CKEB. Notice the execute is also down there. You can't even see the execute there. So I think it's with the new update. He tried to align all the buttons to work, but that got rid of that bottom part there. But I'll let him know about that. CCAB. And then the CCAB 5. So press execute on that. Departure, arrival. Before we go actually pick one. It's going to be the Vancouver 2 because we don't have a departure. But let's go ahead and see if there is an ATIS anywhere. I believe we have ground online. But no... Oh, we have an ATIS. All right, perfect. So I'm just going to double click that and let's see. I make it in green text. It's hard to see. Hundred 17 gusts to 23, 12 mile viz, few clouds, whatever. Altimeter 3000. The 6s are in use. Departing 6 right. PDC available on request. Alright, so we'll go ahead and request a PDC, I guess. Or we can actually... I'll just tune in ground. We'll just get a regular clearance. So we're playing 6... Oh, not 6 right. 8 right. My mistake. I couldn't see it. 8 right for departure. And as you guys know, we'll select our CCAB arrival, but we're not going to select an approach as we're not... by the time we get there, the approach runway may change with the weather. So I'll press execute on that. We'll press flight plan, perf. And we're going up to flight level 210. And our fuel loaded today was supposed to be 9.8 is what we have in the tanks. What does the flight plan say? 8.8, so that's wrong. Nope, I didn't want you. Alright, we'll just do it there. Add myself a little extra. There we go. Oh, I actually entered it in all by itself. But anyways, I would have put the fuel in there. I would have put the zero fuel weight in there, which also might be wrong. Zero fuel weight is supposed to be 68,675. It's close enough. A little heavier, that's fine. And it brings us to 77,870. So a taxi would be about 77,400. They have us planned landing at... Okay, yeah. SimBrief always has us planned landing like a few pounds under the max. I'm going to take out a little bit of poundage, zero fuel weight wise, just because we don't need this much. We'll keep the fuel as that's part of the alternate, so get rid of some of that. There we go. And we'll send that over. Cool. Alternate cruise altitude today is going to be, I don't know why it's that high, but 30,000 feet to come back to Vancouver. It's 20,000 to go with 30,000 to come back. All right. Next page. IC deviation of 8. And then we got all tailwinds 15, 16, 15. So 15, 16, 15. Execute that. Next page. Estimated time of departure today. Well, 1850. We'll call about... oh, you guys know what? You probably don't hear VATSIMs. Let me lower this volume.
At 821 Roger, runway 0.
There we go. Now you probably hear it. Let me know if that's too loud, guys.
On the apron,
or not loud enough.
Alpha, Juliet, Lima, cross runway 13.
400 for taxis, okay. And the reserve fuel of 1717. Awesome. Perf.
So sorry about that. Can you just repeat that again, or am I cut out?
Never say repeat. That means send the orders again. You always say again. Anyways. Takeoff and landing. They got us on... let me change that. I want to hear that. Got Vancouver flap 8, flex rolling bleeds open. The perf flex of 48. We'll select 48. VNAV page, our cruise speed today is going to be 294 at 6.5. That's pretty slow. 294 slash 0.65. We'll throw that in there. 4 degrees. Radio page, auto. And then we'll... Oh, I forgot I didn't have this screen set up for you. Sorry. Let's go back over here. So our both nav 1 and nav 2 are in auto. MFD menu, we're going to select our right hand side, which is the FO side, or pilot flying from the right today, so it's going to be on VNAV, and then pilot monitoring on the left will be on, and then we're good to go. Press flight plan, copy active. I'm going to leave it on the radio page as I'm going to enter my squawk here in a second. I'll check with the comments for right now. Beanie Baby, I'm good. How are you doing, my friend? Aerostar Stream 1. Probably, well, I fly out again on Saturday. I'm starting a 4-day pairing. I actually got some cool layovers like Nashville and that kind of stuff. So after that, I come back for 2 days, maybe a stream there. But after I do another 3-day pairing, then I have 6 days off in a row. And that's probably where you're going to see the most of me, is in that 6 days off in a row portion. Let's tune back into ground. We're going to request an IFR clearance. In real life, they send you what's known as a PDC, a pre-departure clearance, but sometimes it doesn't work. So we can always just go for a old style voice clearance. So I'm just going to ask him, I'm going to say Vancouver ground, Jazz 272 requesting IFR Kelowna. And then he's hopefully going to come back and give us a clearance. We're going to expect from a 6 or 8 right with the C cab. No, that's the arrival with the Vancouver 2 departure. So we'll see how this goes. I mapped this to I mapped a button on the Yoke as push to talk. Let's make sure actually it works really quickly here before I just press it. Yep, it works. Ground Jazz 272 requesting IFR Kelowna information echo.
Jazz 272, you're cleared to Kelowna via the Vancouver 2 departure as filed. Depart runway 08 right, squawk 6124.
Clear to Kelowna, Vancouver 2 departure 8 right, squawking 6124, Jazz 272.
Jazz 272, read back correct. I check you have 8 a sec. Go push and start your discretion and call me for taxi.
Our discretion, call you for the taxi, Jazz 272. All right, so we're squawking 6124. That can go in there. And I'm going to go next page. It'll be JZA272. Go in there. Awesome. I already pressed copy active, but I'll do it again. Leave that on the legs page. And we're basically ready to go. So I'll go ahead and give you guys, or let's go ahead and to the overhead panel. I appreciate all you guys watching on the vertical stream. Got 94 of you guys watching on the vertical stream. If you guys can be my guest, and please hit the like and subscribe. We have the live subscriber counter going, and it hasn't budged. If you guys want to go ahead and click that, I would really appreciate that. All right, well, let's see. We're not fueling. The fueling's already been completed. This should be off right now technically, and that would have been off technically. We're going to go press the APU power fuel button. And we'll get the 5 indications. The bit test is done. The LCV's open, SOV's open. Gauges appeared, and the door's open as well in the back. We'll go ahead and press start. And before I do that, I'll give you guys an external view so you guys can hear the Boris AudioWorks sound pack. So this is Boris's sounds. Although it doesn't really sound like it. BDB says, A2A makes such good products. I still use our 172 in P3D because no other 172 is good as... Yeah, dude, that 172 in P3D was amazing. The other thing that was really good in P3D, might have been FSX actually, but it was the Constellation. A2A's Constellation I fell in love with. Can use a volume boost. It might be my end, yeah. Whoops. Is there a plane on top of me? No, okay. Let me see if it's my settings here. Everything's on max for the master. Huh. Alright, well, we'll keep monitoring that. But anyways, we'll check the APU electric, make sure it's sequenced over from... Okay, so... Oh, it didn't because we have the gen off, so that makes sense. So we have a cyan blue, which means the power is good. We'll go ahead and turn the APU gen to auto. And the APU's taken over the load. The ground power has been disconnected, so we'll go ahead and disconnect the switch of the ground power. And we're just going to make sure that the DC system is doing good, which it is. We'll press the ECS page, and we're going to get our packs turned on. Left pack, right pack. Now, it'd be insane to see minus 100 air being pumped into the cabin and cockpit right now. I have actually I have a short that I made based on this ECS page, so feel free to go check it out where I show you in real life how this kind of works a little bit.
A210, are we able to...
Back to the stat page, we're going to go ahead and click the hydraulic 3A on. Seatbelts can go on. The cabin pressure will set to Kelowna.
Crossing runway 13.
So we're going to go ahead and press index. Let me get my camera back up here. Bring that there. There we go. That's better. So index and database CYLW. And we have an elevation of 1420, this number right there. So we're going to have to put that in our landing elevation right here. So overhead panel. I'm going to hold left shift, and I'll do about 8 spins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Might have been too much, actually. Oh, it's actually pretty good. So 1120. Keep going up a little bit more. 1360. 1440. Close enough. Actually, we can get that bang on.
Switch to 118.7 and report there.
Back to the legs page.
Information. Winds.
Gonna go ahead and go to our little
17 gust 23. Depart your discretion.
iPad here. Performance, return, flap 8, it's dry. We'll go ahead and press set all for all these speeds. Gonna go ahead and close all these doors, get rid of the ground power, and get rid of the chocks.
Hey, right on, my pleasure. And yeah, 22.8 for Unicom there.
And everything there looks good. We'll press the doors page. I don't know why that keeps glitching out to the top right there, but anyways, all the doors are closed. And we can go ahead and turn our fuel pumps on. Go ahead and turn our beacon light on. Make sure the steering switch is off. And I don't think GSX is working right now, but transponder set to number 2 as we're flying from the right, and the transponder is this guy right here to turn it on to mode C in VATSIM terms. Would be right there. We'll hold in the parking brake, and we'll see if GSX is going to work out for us today. It's been acting a little naughty for us, so... okay, it's loud enough now. I don't know what changed. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was messing with the settings, so hopefully it's good enough for you guys to hear. Yeah, GSX is not working, so we're going to just do a left shift P. Before I do that, let's go ahead and check our takeoff trim setting. At the bottom right here is takeoff trim of 6.9. So we're just going to trim nose down to 6.9, and that's been set right there. All right, well, Let's just make sure no one's behind us. All right, and let me get a quick taxi diagram just for a lay of the land of where I'm kind of going here. I guess I can bring it up in sim so you guys can see. All right, we're parked at gate 36. Oh, there we go. Gate 36 is right here. They want us taking off 8 right, which is all the way over here. So I can't really do much with without GSX, so I'm just going to push straight back and we'll be able to turn. I'll give you guys a very quick departure briefing. It's going to be runway 8 right on the Vancouver 2. Flex rolling bleeds open. The anti-ice and the contingency conditions are not required today. And the minimum visibility is gorgeous. It's VFR, so not even close to min vis. On the Vancouver 2. Let me make sure my Mobi flight is working. I think it is. Turn that on. We're also, by the way, we have so much hardware being used right now. We're also, by the way, guys, we're using the Winwing autopilot panel for the 737. And we're using that as our autopilot panel in the CRJ. So I will be setting stuff up. And if you see headings move and speeds change and all that kind of stuff, that's because I'm using my panel. So I don't know why the flight director's turned on, but we'll turn those off. It's going to be the flight directors to the right-hand side. And it is a heading of 083 in departure. Went all the way around to find that. Also up to 7,000 feet, as it says in the chart there. So we're going to dial in. Oh, you probably can't see it because of the camera. There it is. 7,000. Make this a little smaller. Perfect. And I'll put this over there so you can't see it. 7,000. We've been cleared, so we can set 7,000. Click the B button for the altimeter. And I'll go ahead and set our level off height about 1120 or 1020. Basically it's runway heading and then vectored out to vectored away from the scary mountains. So we'll press left shift P. We're going to start our pushback. Charlotte Flights, welcome. How's it going? Not too bad. Lucky says, have you had GSX Jetways work with CRJ? I used to. My GSX in total doesn't work anymore because I think I have an update in like 45 seconds. So if you don't update it within 45 seconds, it breaks it. Just joking. But I haven't, my GSX hasn't been working recently, so. Again, guys, if you want to save some money, be sure to go check out the discount codes down in the description. I have codes to save you money on Contrail website, so you can buy this scenery in this airplane there if you can save some money. I have discount code for the ProDeath Sim throttle sets, and I think I even have a discount code for that's something else. But anyways, all the discount codes are all down below. And if you want to buy this yoke as well, the Moza yoke, be sure to use my link down below, as it really does help the channel. All right, let's go ahead and start. It should have been on. Let's go ahead and start number. Oh, I think it's the first flight of the day. Let's go ahead and stop that. Let's go start number 2. First flight of the day, we start at 1. But starting right, we got the right engine start message. And we're going to press the clock. Tell our driver to stop the pushback around here. And we'll set the parking brake. We're probably somewhere we shouldn't be, but I don't have GSX, so. We're above 20% N2 with an IT below 120, so we'll go ahead and add our thrust lever into the idle detent. Those are Boris sounds. A vertical chat, computer cyber says you play campaigning or real flight? You play real flight or play campaign? I don't even know what that is. But this is a real world flight. It's done by a Q400 though. And if the question wasn't that, then if the question is about real world flying, I do fly this aircraft in real life as well, the CRJ 900. Uh-oh. I don't like multiple tugs coming after me here. Can I get rid of you guys? Just go away? Yeah, go away. Get out of here. Left engine started successful. Go ahead and stop the timer there. Here's a trivia question for you guys. You started the engine, you start your timer. How long can the starter be running for in the CRJ 900? How long can we run that starter for? Until we must turn the starter off. Alright, above 20% N2, we'll go ahead and rise or increase our thrust lever there. Lucky for me, GSX works so well with jetways. Nice. Should make sure it's updated. Yeah, you gotta update every 10 seconds, the problem. Tug of war. 1 minute, it's close. JBS says 90 seconds, YC says 90 seconds, Lucky says 3 minutes. 90 seconds is correct. 90 seconds is correct. You can run the starter in the 900 for 90 seconds. In the 200, it's 60 seconds. The Winwing FCU just plug and play with CRJ even though it's 737 FCU. So yeah, let me show you guys. So this over here, this is the Winwing 737 I guess it would be called the MCP. I don't know what I think it's called the PAP3. This is basically plug and play. Plug it in. It won't just work. You have to download something called MobiFlight, download a CRJ profile for the PAP3, verify you're using MobiFlight in the beta mode, and then it works. I actually have a video of me doing an RNAV approach with this panel in the CRJ, and I think in that video I showed how to make this work, if I'm not mistaken. But this autopilot panel is amazing, and is very, very good, and we'll be doing some 737 ops. As soon as my ProDesk Sim 737 throttles come in, we will be doing 737 ops. For sure. So, both engines are up and running. We'll go ahead and turn the parking brake on, which I already did. Go ahead and stop our timer. We'll reset that to elapsed time. And let's go ahead and make sure that the electrics have transferred to the APU, which they have. Back to the stat page, we'll go ahead and select the APU to off. Power fuel as well. Aft cargo. Probe switches can come on as well at this point. How to play computer. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. This isn't really a how to play live stream, but there's a million videos you can watch on online how to get set up with Microsoft Flight Sim. It's very expensive, so hopefully you don't get into it. Anyways, we're still in the ground frequency. I didn't set up my HCP, but we're just gonna forego this as it doesn't really work in the sim all that well anyways. All right, so with that, we should be ready for taxi. We'll go ahead and turn. You would do a rudder check here, so in that case, let me go ahead and lock my office chair wheels so I don't slide around using my rudder pedals. All right, we'll bring up the flight control page, and we'll go full left, and we'll go full right. That all works. Back to the stat page, and we're going to request taxi from the ground controller. So get out some sort of a notepad or whatever so you can write it down, unless you want to memorize it, but that's usually not a good idea. And we're going to ask for taxi clearance. Ground Jazz 272, just post off gate 36 ready taxi.
Jazz 272, ground Roger, runway 08 right, altimeter 3000, taxi Lima, cross runway 13, and hold short 08 right at Lima.
Taxi at Lima, crossing runway 13. We're going to be short of 8 right at Lima, Chaz 272. All right. Yeah, that was the most realistic thing what he just did there. Real life controllers do that all the time. I think they're meaning to say Roger, but they just unclick their their buttons. So it's gonna be a left turn out of here. All right, let's go ahead and go with the parking brake off. Taxi steering light is on. Taxi light on. Let's get rolling. Notice the airplane moving. That is very, very realistic. The airplane will do that. Gonna add a little bit of thrust, and then we're gonna do a nice big giant left turn. How you talk with NPC? We're on VATSIM, so we're talking to a real person. We're doing the flying side of stuff, and that person is doing the controlling side of stuff. And a bit of stutters for some reason. But yeah, a little stuttery. That's not nice. I will say Microsoft 2024 runs a lot better than 2020. Sorry, I've been missing some comments here. In the 172, how often do you adjust mixture in cruise? Are you just setting and forgetting once you get to cruise out, or are you just... So I haven't flown 172 in a while, but what I used to do was, it's if you don't change your altitude and you're not obviously flying that fast, you don't fly through different temps all that quickly, you can almost set forget for the most part. But the way I would do it is I would start to pull. We're cleared across runway 13 here. We're clear on the right, and we're clear, we'll say on the left, can't really see it. Let me turn, sorry, I'll keep talking in a second here. Let me turn chase plane off. And that way I can show you guys Toby eye tracker. And right now, if I look to the left of my head, it looks to the left. If I look to the right, it looks to the right. And it makes kind of taxiing kind of cool. At least I think so anyways. We'll put chase plane back on though here. Anyways, so I'd start pulling the mixture. And as you start to pull, you're going to hear the engine start to... you'll actually get probably a little bit of a rise in RPM. Then you're going to start to get a drop in RPM where the engine's going to start to sound pretty rough. Once it starts to sound pretty rough, you're going to add about 3 twists of enriching mixture, and you're pretty much good to go. You're going to see roughly around 7 to 8 gallons an hour or so. That's how I used to do it, at least, and how I used to teach it. Thanks to you, Fly. If SPAD can be used instead of Moby, I believe SPAD can be used. Moby Flight's a lot easier, in my opinion, though. Reed, hey, welcome. Thanks for joining in. Why locking wheels fancy? Yeah, my office chair wheels. I bought lockable wheels. You buy them on Amazon, like $10, and they're so worth it. Let's start getting ready here. We're just gonna go flap 8. We'll bring up the flight control page as well. Get our auto cross flow turned on. We're gonna go full left, full right, full down. So this is the problem I'm having with it, is it should recenter, but I think it's a software problem. Full up. That's all good. Our flex is good. We're going to be runway 8 right on the Vancouver 2 runway heading to heading to 083, first waypoint Janik. 083 is set. Stop altitude 7 grand, and if the engine fails...
272 Vancouver Tower is not online. Switch to Unicom for traffic information. Winds 100 at 17 gust 23. Depart at your discretion.
Our discretion, and over Unicom, Jazz 272, thanks.
Roger.
I think they have a CTAF here, not just Unicom, if I'm not mistaken. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and get the tower frequency, as that's most likely Unicom, or the CTAF. Oh, they have different ones. All right. Well, we'll taxi. We'll hold short, and really quickly, let me get the CTAF frequency. .CTAF CYVR 18.7. All right. Well, we'll go here. 187. Boom. Done. All right, we're going to hold short anyways because we don't know who's coming, so we'll just make an announcement very quickly. We'll look off to the right, we're clear. We'll look off to the left, we're clear. We're going to have a headwind from the right, so my yoke in our takeoff, guys, is going to be like this, into the wind once we're on the runway. Vancouver traffic, Jazz 372, lining up runway 8 right. And the engine out procedure actually would be a special one here because we have a turn in it, but I don't have that access to me. Chris on the vertical stream, welcome. This is super cool. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for dropping in. Hopefully you sub and like, and we stream every so often. Whenever I'm not flying real world for my job and I'm home with some time, I like to stream. What do you think of the Moza stick? I'm not using the stick. I'm actually using the yoke, but I probably know what you mean. But it's so far pretty good. I've only had about 45 minutes with it of playtime. And then I got it yesterday when I came home for my 4-day pairing. We're going to go ahead and box the messages, turn our strobe lights on. We're clear takeoff because there's no one to clear us takeoff. We'll press toga. 8 right is verified. Takeoff config's okay. If you guys are members, go ahead in the emojis and select the flex emoji. Put the flexes in chat. We're going to get going here. All right. Wing into wind. As we get faster, we're going to get rid of it. I can feel the runway lights in the yoke. That's pretty cool. A little bit of a bump. That is pretty cool. How's the force feedback on it? I have a lot of force. The feedback needs a bit of work, but I think that might be the RJ not talking to the software properly. There's V1 rotate. Gear up. Oh, I didn't map that. All right, gear up. Got some vibration going on in the yoke right now. I mapped it in 24, but my 24 didn't work, so I had to do it here. Now we're gonna press speed mode, and we're gonna press heading mode of 083. And I'll show you guys a cool feature. It's called the sync. Notice it moving here. You see that? The real yoke doesn't move that much, but you can dial all those settings in. So we're above our level off height. I'm going to pitch the nose down, and I'm going to press my sync button. Watch when I press my sync button right here on this trigger. It's called Flight Director Pitch Sync in the thing. We use this in real life as well. Watch where it says climb 161 on the FMA. We're going to go flap 1. Sync. Oh, I didn't map it either. Never mind. I thought I mapped it, but it would sync to wherever my current speed is. Flap 0. And because this is a mountainous airport, we're going to hold our VT speed. So let's go ahead and throw the autopilot on in just a second here. Yep. Okay, that's not working either. Autopilot engage. Oh, I forgot the bug. Yaw dampener's on. Now it works. Yeah, that's a bug, guys. I have a lot of videos on that. Climb thrust. And we'll do our after takeoff checks here. A little bit of a laggy thing. Man crosswalk can come off, or line light can come off, and our reversers can get turned off as well. Thank you guys for jumping in and watching. I think I'm gonna have to turn down how much the yoke does of this because it wouldn't really do much of this shaky stuff. We're gonna go pulling this up and direct Janek will execute that. Nav's available. FMS 2 is armed and captured. I don't know why it says flight spoiler deploy. It shouldn't be. We'll go and reset that. Alt cap, we're going to clear ourselves higher. And we're going up to P10 if memory serves. P10 it is. Let's fix our heading indicator with where we're going. Alright, and we are above, let me just quickly check the sector altitude. Once we're above the sector altitude, we can go ahead and accelerate to 250 knots. I think we're above it already though. The highest sector is 7,000. We're above that. Let's go ahead and accelerate 250. We're in the clouds now, guys. It's 11 degrees though, so no anti-icing required just yet. Climb 250. The airplane's going to nose down. It's going to accelerate to 250 for us. Alright guys, we're about to pass 10,000 feet as well, so we can accelerate further. And I'll show you my trick for accelerating the RJ for the passengers not to get too sick. Or not sick, sorry. For the, if I would just to go ahead and scroll my speed knob up to 320 or 280, wherever I want to accelerate to, the nose is going to pitch down, and then we are going to kind of stop our climb. So what we do real world is we go vertical speed, 1500. We'll select 280 knots, and then once my speed becomes 280, I'm just going to go ahead and click the speed button. Let me go ahead and actually give you guys the autopilot panel here so you can kind of see a little bit of what I'm doing. There we go. Busting through the clouds there, everything's looking well. Lights can be turned off. The pressurization is checked, looking good. We'll go ahead and go over to Unicom. Mike Messer, welcome, thanks, and thanks for putting the flex in there. Do you ever fly, Lucky says, do you ever fly in VR? Oh, we passed our 280. So let's go vertical speed 2,500. And we'll get back down. I do VR in DCS, DCS basically only. Other than that, I'm not in VR. This weekend is probably going to be either really quiet or really busy, but not, nothing anything resembling normal. At work, JBS, or what are you talking about? I've been doing VFR coast to coast cross country Canada trip 172, trying to be as real world as possible. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Well, that's my little mixture trick that was taught to me, and that's what I teach to people. Go ahead and sync our heading indicator. Does the real aircraft recenter, or do you have to pull pitch? But no, it recenters in real life. Let's climb 280. Yeah, the real one will recenter. So if I go autopilot disengaged, and you can see it in the air, I kind of have it doing it. It does it well for the roll. It recenters, but depending on your pitch strength and all sorts of stuff, it does it. It just does it a little slow. Is what I find. But we'll go ahead and turn the autopilot back on. A little bit of turbulence, keeping everybody seated. This is some mountain stuff, a mountain wave going on. So kind of sort of how you do it in the 727. You mean the Yoke, JBS? Oh, I'm talking for you for work this weekend, given what's going on with mainline. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, for me it doesn't matter. We're a different, it's a different operation. Yeah, I won't have that much ATC delays at all. And we're coming up to 18,000 feet, which is our transition altitude. So if you guys want to see something really cool, let's go ahead and press our transition 2992. Watch as the airplane turns right at the next waypoint. This yoke should move right as well. So I'll kind of zoom out so you guys can see. Been neglecting the vertical stream. Sorry about that, guys. Swift says, what do you think? I think read that one. How does the force feedback? Read that one. Wow, is the yoke shaky? Take my money. Yeah, exactly. What are you flying, DCS? You name it, my friend. I've been playing DCS for 10 years. So started with the 810 a long time ago in K50. And then as airplanes came out, I would fly them and master them. So Mirage, Hornet, Harrier, 14 Viggen, anything you want. So here it comes up to that right-hand turn. We only got 20 minutes left until we're in, there's 20 for 21,000 until we're at Kelowna. So we're going to get going here quickly. Alt's cap. We're going to slow to 264. Actually, it's 290. So we'll accelerate. And next page, 294 is the cruise. Accelerating 294. Here comes the right turn. The airplane should turn right. Well, the airplane's going to turn right. Hopefully the yoke also turns right as well. You see that? That's what they call autopilot following. Gonna reduce our thrust to maintain. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So now without even looking at your display, you have some sort of a visualization of what the airplane's doing. The 727, you go from IS to VS and then back to, yeah, basically the GBS, same kind of thing. We do that in real life as well, because if we would just go ahead and dial up our speed knob to 280, the airplane basically levels off, and now we're not really climbing anymore. We're accelerating, but we're not climbing as well. What are the settings like for the Moza yoke? How flexible is the software? So the software is very flexible. It's just very clunky in my opinion, if that makes sense. Yeah, Vancouver Kelowna is a very short flight. So I'm going to put all the cameras away here. Actually, I can leave them up. What we're going to go ahead and do, we'll sync our heading. We're going to go ahead and get a weather for Kelowna. Bring up Navigaph, and my little approach setup, guys, is weather weights plates. Weather weights plates. So we're gonna get the weather first, which gives us our landing runway and winds and all that kind of stuff and approach, and then we're gonna go ahead and do our plate. So what approach plate we're doing, and then for our weights, and then which gives us our landing speed, and then the plate. So it's very light wind out of the east at 3 knots, 9 mile viz, 24, 2988. So we're going to set 2988 in here for later. And winds out of the east. So in that case, we can choose, we can take 34 in that case. Or basically the closest. It's very wind calm either way. So we can't do the RMP. These are both RMP approaches. We can't do that. So what we're going to go ahead and do is the RNAV Alpha, which is a circling approach, which is actually perfect for this Moza yoke because we're going to get to use it a little bit. Basically, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to follow this path inbound here and descend the whole way. And because it's visual, we're going to break off the approach and visually circle. We're going to go here, do a left downwind, visually circle, and come back and land 34. That's what we're going to do, like this. This, and obviously not that tight, but that's what we're gonna do. So we got the weather. Let's go ahead and get our weight. All right. So quickly, what's our next descent coming up here? We need 1400 a minute. Fine. We got a little bit of time. So perf page. I'll bring this back down. Actually, I'll leave it in the autopilot panel. I'll leave it over there. So we weighed 66,000 pounds. We're predicting to be in Kelowna at 6,000 pounds. I think that's wrong. It usually is in the simulator. Probably about 5,000 pounds is more likely. So 66 plus 5 is 71. We'll call it 71,300. So we'll go takeoff and landing. And CYLW. Runway 34. Refresh the METAR, and we weigh 71,400. Calculate distance. We're not even using, okay, so we're all good with that, and we'll even say no reversers, it's not contaminated, so that's fine. Performance return, we'll be doing a V2 go around of 150, the VT 199 in the go around, and then a VRF of 144. That's way too high. It's more likely 137 is more likely what we're actually going to use in real life. Oh, correcting speed there. So with that all set, weather, weights, the speed's been set. We'll get the plate up and running, and I'll show you guys the plate here. And we're basically going to go ahead and set it all up. The MDA is 3040. But we're also going to add 100 feet on top of that. As it's a circling, we're not really allowed to do circling approaches at many airlines, but there we go. Never mind. We're the wrong one. Alrighty. And we're going to go to the FMS. And we're going to set departure arrival. It's going to be the RNAV Alpha. Should have it here. Also in real life, if it's a non-NG, it'll just say GPS. It won't actually say RNAV. So they call it, it's not really labeled properly, but we're going to do this one. And we're flying from west to east, most likely. Yeah, west to east. So we're coming in like this. We're just going to take it from Kobev. Will be the best option for us there. And we'll press legs. And that all looks fine. We'll go to the next page. I don't know why it's taking me to Ambat. I didn't say to take me to Ambat. Oh, let's check the star really quickly. Oh, never mind. It actually comes through Ambat. So let's go ahead and redo this. RNAV. Oh, look at the turbulence. See that? See the airplane? See the airplane moving there? That's pretty cool. RNAV Alpha via Ambat. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. We'll go ahead and execute that. And then just for our self-awareness, we're also going to put CYLW. And I don't think it works in the sim. Yeah, alright. Never mind. Disregard what I was going to say. Yeah, and you can't do that either. Alright, well, we'll just visually maneuver for it. And this airplane is turning not where it's supposed to turn. There we go. We'll go back to the right manually. Yeah, in the sim, for some reason, when you load an approach, it does this kind of thing where it puts nothing behind you. I don't know why it does that. So now we're going to have to go direct like this, and that's not a real thing. But anyways, it's a sim. You can't complain too much. So FMS2's back and captured. We're coming back down to 21,000. Let's just select the autopilot back on. That has all been set up. Again, guys, we're basically going to come through Ambat in this case. And which means we're going to have to start descending quite rapidly. So there's no one here. We're going to go ahead and set 9,800 feet. And we'll press vertical speed, idle thrust, negative 3,000, which is our usual descent. We'll do actually 30, we'll do 34, just so we get a bit more out of the game. In the sim, the airplane pitches down a little too aggressively. But, yeah. Actually only need 3,000 there. So, we need to be above 98 at Alman. We're going to make that for sure, as our line is right there. 25. We need to be the next one. VivTech 210 at 9,500. So we're actually descending a little early, but that's okay. We'll do 2,000 in a minute. And we'll keep the speed up manually. Let me go back to the chat, guys. Sorry, I got a little busy there. Autopilot transition at 10K. Yeah. What are the settings for the Moza Yoke? I think I read that one. Need a dash 8 for 2024. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool if we had a dash 8. All right, we're coming back down. We'll just transition. It's 298.88. Down there in Kelowna. There we go. Thank you guys for watching on the vertical chat or vertical stream and the horizontal stream. Really appreciate you guys all watching. But again, guys, basically we're just going to come up from the north. Actually coming from the west. Seagap, Hilma, Viptech, Vilmo, Ambat, and then from Ambat, make sure speed's doing okay. That's fine. We're a little quick. That's no problem. From Ambat, we're going to take it here. Mandatory 8,210 knots. Cabot, Bolte, Elson, Adsot, and we're going to continuously be descending here as we get lower and lower and lower. And then we're basically going to be trying to be at that 3140 section right here with the gear down and flaps 30, and we're going to visually circle for runway 34, and then we'll go flap 45 somewhere around there. So it's a bit of an interesting approach. It's basically a VFR approach, really. Once you're circling, you're visual. You have to be. If you're not visual, we can't circle. Okay, we're past the above 98, so I'll select 9,500. I'm keeping it quick, guys. We will have to decelerate from 300 to 210, so we'll go ahead and select 210. We're still from VivTech 7 minutes. I'm going to pull idle thrust at about 2 minutes. Majestic have their Dash 8 in development. It's been in development for the past 5 years. Yeah, it's taken too long. Too long. It is hard to develop for this sim, I imagine. Sorry guys, I didn't have my chat up. We actually gained a lot of subscribers right there because I had the window minimized, but thank you guys for all subscribing. I really appreciate you guys for doing that. Alright, we're going to select idle thrust. And we're just going to let the airplane nicely decelerate now. We have to be below 250 at 10,000. And that won't be a problem to do. VivTech needs 600 feet per minute, so what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to select 1,000 feet per... we'll do 1,200 feet per minute, actually. And 12 at 12, we're almost at 12,000 feet at 1,200 a minute. And we're just going to nicely meet 250 at 10,000. So there won't be any problems here. We're going to have our terrain feature on, which is a pretty good idea. Going to a mountainous airport, that's obviously one of our major threats here. Luckily the weather is nice and visual. Got 100 of you guys watching on the vertical stream. Really appreciate you guys. Let's see if we can hit 6,700 subs. We're at 6,914. Can we get 75 more subscribers like right now? That'd be crazy. Heath, great to have you back in the RJ. I'm flying the 700 in Moncton to Quebec. Hey, nice. That's awesome. That's a good little route. Yeah, this yoke is really nice. My Boeing TCA yoke was as soon as I bought it, it was neat, but it was garbage. It's kind of a waste of money in my opinion. It's kind of plasticky. But this yoke is really, really cool. The software does need to be updated a bit and a bit more tuned better for the sim, but it is still pretty cool. You can see we're coming up to 10,000 feet. We're going to select 900 a minute, and by 10.2, if we still can't lose this extra bit of knottage because of our wind that keeps gusting up, we'll add some spoiler in. It's 10.5 for 9.5. The real life actually airplane does decelerate a little bit more than this. The real one's a little bit too slick, but that's okay. It's better to have it a little more slick than a little bit more draggy, as it kind of replicates more real life a bit better. So we're gonna add a little bit of spoiler here. Or we get down to 250 below 10. Pretty close. There we go. And we'll get rid of the spoiler. I want the Winwing need more buttons and knobs. The Winwing Yoke, or the Winwing autopilot panel. You guys in the vertical chat, feel free to chat as well. I have both chats up, so I can read both. Alts cap 9500. We're gonna leave it in idle thrust. We're gonna slow for 210. And because we're alts capping, well, our next altitude is going to be AMBAT after VivTech. VivTech is at 9500, maximum of 210. Probably go a bit slower. And then next is AMBAT. So we're going to select 8000, which is our next altitude. And we're going to actually go down to 200 knots. With a flap 0 speed, we're good down to... we're actually okay for 200. But why not? We'll select flap 1 just in case. Give you guys a nice little view. Oh, maybe not. Thought I had a view for it. We'll go flap 1, which is actually only slats. And we're going to add in our thrust to maintain. So we descended a little early, but that's okay. It's better to be a little early and meet the restriction than be late and not meet the restriction, so no worries. Shaq, if you were to get one not based on price, the Brunner or the Moza, which would you have got? I didn't have enough time with the Brunner at the expo. The Brunner wasn't hooked up to any sim, it was just on the table. If it was the exact same price, I hear the software at Brunner is better, so I probably went with whatever the software is the best. But the price does factor into it. I mean, this is a force feedback yoke for under $1,000, about $250 under $1,000, whereas the Brunner is like 17 or something like that. So the price definitely factors in. I've heard the FS Elite ones are pretty good. I would definitely choose the Winwing one over all of them, as it's a pendulum. I just don't know if I have room for it, so I didn't want to take the gamble and wait for it, as I needed a yoke pretty much now. Alright, so here we are, guys, just coming up on VivTech, a max of 210 at 95. We've met 95, as you can see there, and we're holding about 200, as it's a maximum of 210, so we can go under if we need. Let's see, the next one will be AMBAT at 8000. It only wants 400 a minute. To hold 200 knots or 210 below, we're not really going to want to exceed 1200 a minute, really. And it's been kind of slick, so we'll call it 1000. So watch this airplane. It's going to smart turn, or it should start turning right before it hits the waypoint, and you're going to watch the yoke. It's going to manually turn itself to the right. Well, the airplane's going to turn, and the yoke is going to autopilot follow. It's what Moza calls it. The yoke out of my budget. I'm into the realistic snapback feature of the Bravo. The Bravo. You mean the Alpha yoke, like the honeycomb? There we go. We're smart turning, which means we haven't reached the waypoint yet, and it's already turning for the airspeed. That's good. That's what it does in real life. Fix the heading. Yeah, the Winwing yoke with a 7.4 would be awesome. Be really cool. All right, so we've crossed that at 95. The next one's 8,000 feet. We only have to lose 1,500 feet to get there, and it only wants 500 feet per minute right now. So we're gonna wait until it says about 1,000, maybe about 900, and then we're gonna start down. I bet the force feedback is a game changer for trimming in G airplanes. Yeah. I haven't done too much GA stuff with this, but I think force feedback in general shines in GA, just because in real life there isn't too much feedback from an airliner yoke. You have a bit of, like, you're adding right aileron and then you get a wing gust and you can kind of feel it fighting, so you add a bit more, like that kind of thing. but you definitely have a lot more feedback in like in a cable like 172 non-hydraulic type of an airplane. All right, well, let's go ahead and go. What does it want there? It wants 700 a minute. We'll wait a little bit. And basically, we get to AMBAT at 8,000. You can see it says max 210, mandatory 8,000. And then after that, we're going to descend to 5,000. Then we'll go down to 30, 32 or so. So, vertical speed, 1,000 feet per minute. Idle thrust. Man, alpha, yeah. The reason I don't like the alpha yoke, Keith, is I hate the roll. The pitch is way too stiff, and then the roll is way too loose. It's kind of a weird yoke. A yoke is usually pretty linear in its feel. The roll will be a little bit less heavy or less hard to roll it than pitch it, but the alpha to me feels way off. That's the reason I don't like it, but that's just my personal opinion. We're gonna go flap 8. Let's go slow to 180. As it's a maximum of 210. Not a must be at 210. Yeah, you can get this to snap back. It's just the force required after to pitch it is insane. So I think the software is going to be getting adjusted later to make it all feel real. All right, well, we're currently going to be passing just before, so we're going to eliminate a level off and we're going to match it up. It wants 700, we'll do 700 feet per minute there. And the next one is Gabbett above 78, so we'll meet that one no problem. Going to add our thrust for 180 knots here. Alt's cap 8,000 is checked. We're going to set the next one, which is 5,100 feet. Look at it, nicely smart turn right on. That's awesome. A little bit of thrust. A little more thrust. And basically, guys, we're right here. We're at AMBAT. Gabbett is next. And then we're going to be going over to Boldy and taking that left turn. So we're definitely going to pass above, I don't know, there's a bug in the sim where if you change the altitude during a alts capture, it starts to climb. And I don't know why that is, but it just happens. The next one's going to be quite a bit of a descent. So we're going to go gear down. And I know that's weird, but remember, guys, we're doing a circling approach, so we want to be configured with gear down flap 30 by this point, and then we're going to circle and go flap 45 somewhere later on down there. And at this current rate, it looks like we're going to be passing above 51, so we're going to do 1,500 a minute, and we're also going to dial down to the next one, which is 4,700. Actually, we'll do 48. We'll do one higher just in case that the RJ tries to, in the sim, tries to do something to me here. But notice it, basically idle thrust, a little bit of thrust with the gear flap 8. It holds this nice descent rate nicely for us. We're trying to make this a constant descent as much as possible. That one we're above 51, that's fine. The next one wants 1,200. The next one wants 1,300. So let's go ahead and do 1,200 feet per minute, and that kind of meets all of these nicely together. Just getting rocked around a little bit here. We left the belts on the whole way. Didn't do my 10,000 check, but we'll turn our taxi light back on. Gets pretty busy when you're alone in this airplane. Go flap 20. We're going to slow to 160. Getting a little laggy. I'll go ahead and reset my auto FPS. Maybe that'll help out here. Let me get flight recorder working. All right, well, it's looking like we're going to be level just prior, so let's do 900 feet per minute. And I want this line to be past that waypoint there. So we'll do 800 a minute. The next one wants 1,000, so we're doing good for that. All right, let's go ahead and we'll bug down to 3,200. Flap 30. 156 on the speed. Sync our heading. And once we turn here, you guys are going to see the runway. And we're still following this approach, but we're going to visually circle for runway 34. See the runway right there? Sorry for all the lag, guys. I don't know why it's lagging this much. I hate 2020 now, but I just can't use the other one because it wasn't working. Alright, so I am visual with the runway. I'm going to go ahead and go autopilot off, flight director off, and we'll go flat 45. We're up for 137. Then we're going to visually maneuver around for this approach here. This yoke feels really good here, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I still need to tweak some settings, but it does feel pretty good. Alright guys, so now it's all eyeballs outside. We're gonna go down to, we can technically go below MDA now because we are visual. We're gonna start my recorder. We're only getting 30 frames, which is quite bad, but thank you guys for subscribing. Really appreciate all you guys subscribing. We'll go out to the left a little bit more here. Sam, welcome, welcome. We're doing a circling approach in runway 34. We just broke off the Arnav Alpha into runway 34 in Kelowna. Air Bossman, welcome. Hello, welcome, welcome. Thanks for stopping on in. Yeah, with force feedback, this is our new yoke. So the runway, guys, is just off our right side. We're just visually circling for runway 34. I don't know why 2020 is lagging this much, but sorry about that. Can't really do much about it. We're just maintaining our speed, and for the most part we can hold 3,100. The elevation here is 1420, so about 24 would be an actual circuit, but these mountains are quite close, so we're just going to hold it around here. And we're just going to visually maneuver and come back in for runway 34, which is right over there. Now what I'm going to do really quickly is go ahead and put in runway 34. We'll execute that. Okay, that's not what I wanted, but it usually makes an extended center line, but never mind. We'll just visually do it. Alright, well, with the gears down, we'll go ahead and do our reversers. Flat 45, the gears down 3 green. We'll say we're cleared to land. And what I'm also going to do is go on V-Pilot and get the C-Tap. You know what? I'm just going to leave VATSIM. There's no one here, so there's no point. I'll leave VATSIM. Alright, I'm going to kind of do a nice little left turn and then a nice sweeping right turn as I try to watch the chat, guys. The chat is most likely going to get forgotten as this approach is going to get spicy here. Lonnie's been missing in the action. Hope he was in the chat earlier here, actually. Yeah, I think he's doing okay. Apple Pilot, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yannick as well. Hi, missed the but the yoke seems promising. Yeah, the yoke is really cool. This is probably one of the best prices for a force feedback yoke you'll ever find. I can't, you know, don't quote me on that, but every other force feedback yoke is going to be pretty expensive. Alright guys, let's get Toby eye tracker here working. So maybe I can actually keep track of a runway. Oh, I can't move myself. Well, never mind. Let's go ahead and not get Toby eye tracker working. Okay, now I can't turn it off. There we go. There we go. I couldn't turn it off. Yeah, this is why we always have an extended center line, but we don't have it in this one, so we'll just kind of visually hope. We can also do it in the fixed page in real life, but in the sim, the fixed page doesn't work either. I have it visual just on the nose there. It might be hard to see in the stream. Let me zoom in. You guys see it right there? Or actually on the pappies, believe it or not. Alright, we'll correct the speed there. We'll keep descending as we're going. This is an approach you can do. It's a little bit hazy, but if you're able to keep visual, you're good to go. Gonna set up our heading there for just a missed approach in case we need it, and we're gonna visually just kind of get back on center. We'll have to be stable by 500 feet as we are a visual approach, not an IFR approach. Hard to see the pappies in the sim, but you should get pappies in real world. Stable. I just think I just see the pappies now. We're one white, so we're gonna have just a little bit of power. We're actually looking pretty decent. 300. Correcting our descent path there is a little steep.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20.
Oh, too much.
10.
Got the reverse out. Manual braking as it is in the CRJ. I'll have to do some testing on the pitch. It feels a little grindy and weird right now, but not bad. Definitely have to do some more software stuff to make it work. Go ahead and install the reverses, and we're gonna get nice and slow, and then we'll do a nice big right turn. The real airplane can turn on a dime. In the sim, it doesn't turn all that well for some reason. Like I'm full, but it just doesn't want to go. All right, well, I'm going to stop the recording there, guys. As you know, I don't do shutdowns. I can't be bothered. So we're going to go replay.
Pull up.
And we'll press pause replay.
500.
Sam, no, I love 24. I just can't play it because, what was the reason today? Oh, the CRJ in 2024 doesn't work in the beta 3, which I only run beta 3 now. And unfortunately, it doesn't work in beta 3. There is a lot of bugs with it. Hey, Dave, welcome. The sim is wild. Play a little bit high. That's okay. Fixed it. Always make my base to final turn too early because I can't see the runway. Yeah, it's hard in the sim. It's really hard in the sim to judge all that kind of stuff. Real world, it's a lot easier. You have more depth perception. Thanks, Bossman. Thanks. Appreciate that. I find that full tiller deflection in the CRJ actually makes it turn. Yeah, it does, which in real life it doesn't. In real life, full is full. Unless you're going too fast, which there we weren't going that fast at all. But what we can do, guys, is let's try another approach. And as I fly with you guys here, we can adjust kind of the Moza sensitivities as we go. So I'll put it maybe like this.
Don't sink.
And let me get the Moza software out. By the way, thank you guys for all subscribing. Really appreciate that. So I'm gonna do, it's gonna get weird. I'm gonna do some stuff where it's gonna look weird, but I'm just gonna get a sense for how it's flying. Right now it's a lot of pullback, and you can see I'm shaking all my cameras doing that. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna adjust some of the settings. We're gonna fly past the runway here, guys, and it's gonna yell at us about sinking and all this kind of stuff. But I'm gonna lower this one a little bit. That feels a little bit better. Let's try again. Pause.
1,000.
Okay, so we're gonna try this again, guys. Now the yoke is a little bit easier to move back and forth in the pitch axis there. We'll get back on this approach. Yeah. That would actually be an actual don't sink, because we're doing 1300 there. But
Don't sink.
I'm not really getting a lot of force feedback, but if you watch the yoke, it kind of just... I'm going to go off the approach, but it kind of just does this right now.
Don't sink.
You see it? It's just kind of doing that, which I don't know what force that's supposed to be. But again, guys, as I said at the beginning of the stream, it could be the software. I believe the software for the sim, or sorry, for the Moza software isn't up to the standard that they want it to be, just because they are brand new to the flight sim community. So all these things that I'm talking about right now will be probably fixed in the future. The hardware part of this is immaculate. The software is where it's going to need to be adjusted quite a bit. And probably for GA, it probably works a little bit better than it does for airliners.
Don't sink. 200. Don't sink.
Also, I think these pappies are wrong.
100. 50. 40. Don't sink. 20. 10.
Slam. Actually, that wasn't that bad. Yeah, I think the pappies are wrong. I find the pappies, I don't know if you guys experience the same thing. I find the pappies in... oops, I keep hitting the wrong button. I find the pappies and even the glide slopes in Microsoft 2020 and 24 like completely off. To maintain that pappy, I needed 900 feet per minute. In real life, to maintain a pappy at a roughly 140 knots, it should be 700, 750, maybe 800 a minute. But like I'm having to really get a nice nose down to maintain. So I'm going to do a visual approach without the pappies, and we'll see how this goes.
500.
But we're just doing some testing here, guys. Now the flight part of this is over. I'm just kind of testing the Moza yoke, and if you guys want to see an airplane, I could bring up a 172 if you guys want to see that, and I can fly that a little bit. Flying Panda, hey, thanks. Appreciate that, my friend. I just came off a real RJ. I was flying it yesterday for work, so my knowledge of what should be happening is fresh right now. Dude, this seems a lot better, but still a little steep.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Oh, too much. Yeah, there's still like a disconnect between how much this equals how much in the actual sim is happening. We'll go turn my air conditioning on real quick because it's ridiculously hot. But we will build a CRJ profile with you guys. All right, I am back. What I think is happening as well is I had a profile pretty good. I sent it to CST as well. I think what was happening is my profile was good, but it was for 24, and I think just 2020 doesn't work all that well with 2024. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unload the preset, and I'm going to go to the presets, and I'm just going to download a basic PMDG 737 one that someone made. Actually, I'm going to download a basic Microsoft Flight Simulator one, and I'm going to try that. We're going to see how this goes. Just with a basic profile, nothing else changed. We'll see kind of how this feels. Sorry I'm missing some comments here, guys. See, this is way too heavy. Holy crap, I'm shaking everything moving this. That's way too heavy. Yeah, that's insane. Let's go back to my profile. I'm gonna load my own. Oh. There we go. That's better. It still feels a bit grindy, like I'm pushing against I'm pushing against something that's like stopping it. I'm gonna turn the friction down a little bit. You can't really feel the gears, but you can feel like a movement. There's like a grinding as you move it forward.
Sync rate 400. Sync
The
rate
roll nicely resets. The pitch
300.
takes quite a while to reset. In real life, to move the yoke, if I did this to the yoke and let go in real life, the yoke would do this. It slaps back to the center, and you can't achieve that in the software, to my knowledge, unless you maximize the motors, but at that point you can barely move it. So I kind of want them to make a system or a software where it says, like, if moved out of the center position, motor will reset or something. Like, I don't know how they're gonna exactly do that. I'm not a genius, but if they can somehow figure that part out, that would be pretty cool. Let's increase the dampeners a bit. Let's go back in our replay here. And as I said, guys, we're just experimenting at this point together. I'm experimenting with different settings and doing different stuff on the Moza side. I will say the 2024 version of this airplane, I'm not doing anything to the airplane anymore.
Don't sync.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Replay was on. There we go. There we go. I will say the 2024 version of the CRJ with this yoke flies a lot better than the 2020 version. And the only reason I'm not flying 24 with you guys right now is because 24 SU Beta 3 breaks the CRJ. Park and brake doesn't work, and a bunch of other stuff doesn't work on the iPad. You can do landings with it, but you can't really do a full flight with it too much. Yeah, this is feeling way too heavy. We'll give it a try.
300. Don't sync. Don't sync. 200.
And then it's too heavy, but it's almost too quick to react after in the sim, which is more of a sim thing. But
Don't sync. 100. 50. 40. Don't sync. 30. 20. 10.
okay, so the pitch felt a little better, but it's still too stiff. Check my phone here, make sure I'm not missing anything. Let's try. Leave that there.
Sync rate. Pull
I'm
up.
gonna lessen this, and I'm gonna lessen that, and we'll try if that
Pull
works.
up.
Thank you guys for watching both on the vertical and the live stream as well. Really appreciate you guys staying here. Samson, I had to reinstall Windows over the weekend, so I'm fully into 24 now. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I had to do 3 Windows reinstalls this month, or this year, sorry. I fully understand you. Dirty, sorry, I didn't read. How do I get the CRJ to load in cold and dark in 2024? Yeah, so that's the bug. That's the bug you're experiencing, is this feature won't work. There's a lot of bugs in the 2024 Beta 3 version with the CRJ, and that's why I'm not streaming it currently.
Pull up.
I couldn't get it either fixed.
Pull up.
All right, let's try this out a little bit. Okay, that was too loose to move. Let's turn the friction down, that up to 40. Now it doesn't recenter is the problem. Once you get rid of the motor, the yoke doesn't recenter, which is not realistic anymore. So that's the problem I'm having, is you have to find a fine balance between motor being crazy stiff and it recentering. Like if I go motor to 100%, let's see how this goes. I can feel it tightening up. It's like winding up. Actually, that feels kind of good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Actually, that does feel pretty good. All right, let's try that again. 100% for the win.
Sink rate.
Yeah. All right, let's try this, guys.
Don't sink.
That actually feels pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. I might send this one to CST after.
5.
See if you're watching. I'll have another file for you.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
Campbell says, will Aerosoft have to update a fix for bugs 24? It's on Microsoft side. From my understanding, they're trying to work together to collaborate to make it work. But I believe it's either Microsoft has to change the code or Aerosoft has to change their code. Is my understanding of how it's going to work.
Don't sink. 200. Don't sink. Don't sink. 100. 50. Don't sink. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Yeah, that actually feels pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'll do that again. So I'm gonna save this as 2020. So if anybody here has the Moza yoke or buys the Moza yoke, by the way, guys, if you want to buy the Moza yoke, link in my description. Really helps the channel if you buy it. I paid for this myself. I'm not sponsored by them. Well, actually, I have an affiliation link, but I'm not sponsored in terms of they didn't pay me to buy this. That doesn't make sense, or pay me to say good things about it. As you heard, I've been saying good and bad things about it. So if you want to pick up your own, what the heck is this thing happening? This thing's just, there we go. We'll do that. If you want to pick up your own yoke or your own stick or anything, I do have a link down below. And also with Contrail, I have a discount code. You can save some money on Contrail, ProDesk Sim, and also Tobii Eye Tracker. But what I was going to say is if you do buy this yoke, and hopefully with my link down below, I can send you guys my profiles. I have one for 2020, which I'm making with you live, and I also have one for 24 that actually was pretty good as well. We're going to try this again, and I'm going to add in a little bit more force feedback to 50. And see, no, that's way too stiff. Let's go back down to 35. Let it kind of configure itself there a little bit.
Don't sink.
Let's reset here.
Don't sink.
In the vertical chat, Seb's Aviation, hey, welcome. Where is that autopilot panel from? This is from Winwing. You can check them out. The link's in the description down below. Winwing's their PAP 3 panel. It's based obviously off of the 737 MCP. See this, guys? I kind of got it nice. Look at that. Recenters. It's not as snappy as a real yoke would be, but this is a pretty good trade-off of what we can actually achieve right now. And again, if you have the yoke, DM me on Discord. I'll send you my CRJ profile for this exact yoke, and you guys can fly it along with my settings. Thanks, Seb, for stopping by as well.
Don't sink. 200.
We're hearing all these messages because I've been restarting ourselves on final. It's gonna do that. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I don't trust these pappies. The pappies are wrong.
Sink. 100. Don't sink. 40. 30. 20. Don't sink. 10.
Yeah, that felt pretty decent. Let's do it again. So I'm in a pretty decent state with this now, as I've fixed this with you guys on channel, and I'm gonna keep tweaking it here and there. We're going to start adding a bit more stuff, and hopefully we can make it better. But I have my original version that I've liked. I have that saved so far. TVC says, how many IRL hours do you have? I have 1,050, somewhere there. 1,000, probably 50 and change, plus or minus 5, somewhere around there. I just flew to actually finish a 4-day pairing with the CRJ. And before you ask about how is that even possible with the hours, I'm not in the United States.
Don't sink.
Oh, I'm like, what? Nothing's happening. Stop replay. There we go. Now I'm filling the airplane.
5. Don't sink. Don't sink.
After this, we're going to try to turn the wind up, and we might do a crosswind landing.
Don't sink.
Just going to zoom out a little bit. There we go.
Don't sink. 300. Don't sink. 200. Don't sink.
Gonna correct my center line here. I'm not really trusting the PAPIs too much, guys. They're kind of incorrect, and I found that they're incorrect all the time in Microsoft.
50. Don't sink. 30. 20. 10.
This floating stuff you're experiencing is a 2020 thing, and 24 with that landing technique, it doesn't do that floaty stuff. That's more of a 2020 thing. But this profile that I just developed right now is feeling pretty good. I'm actually enjoying that a little bit more. What are you using to practice landings? I'm just using Flight Recorder. So I've recorded a landing, and then I'm just replaying and pressing stop replay, and I take control in the air. The other thing I recommend is I used to use, and I still do, is called FS Flight Control Panel. It's a little expensive, but it's a flight instructor panel, and you can spawn yourself on final and do all sorts of cool stuff like that. Can we do a max crosswind landing? Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Get the clouds out here. Turn that off. Hey, you can see now. Add a wind. Oh, I didn't want to do that. We'll put it here. We're landing 34, something like that. So we'll do somewhere around there. 35 is the max crosswind limitation on an RJ 900. And we'll put that in the side. And I'll press stop replay. Give me a couple seconds to kind of adjust for the wind here. Although that wind direction doesn't look correct. The wind direction does not look correct for how much angle off I am currently for it.
Sink rate. 500.
There we go. So let the wind kind of fix itself, and then I'm going to just respawn here. Actually, I can't respawn because the wind's going to change, so I'll just take it from here. The replay might screw up the wind, so I'll just fix it from here. Yeah, max crosswind on the RJ 900 and RCC6 runway is about 35 knots of direct crosswind,
200.
which is more or less what we got right now. So at 20 feet, we're going to add our rudder, right rudder in this case, and left aileron. Let me press record. There we go. My hands were off the yoke there for a second.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Minimums.
Got the reverse. In the sim as well, the airplane does this. Let me stop the replay. And stop the recording. In the sim as well, the CRJ has a problem, or a little bit of a bug, where the gear just does this. In real life, that once you're on the ground and those spoilers deploy, you're planted. It's very hard to get this airplane to come back up again. Let's go ahead and give you guys a view. Is the yoke worth it? For right now, I would say yes. I need more time to experiment with it, but I'm enjoying it. I would say if you guys want something that feels like the TCA yoke but has force feedback, if you want that pendular, I would say wait for Winwing, because that pendular feel will be obviously a pendular feel, and this is not pendular. but for under $1,000 for a full force feedback yoke, my pros, I have some pros and cons. I'll list them right now. So this pros and cons of this yoke for me with only about an hour using it, which is not much. Pro, the build quality is insane. Some of the buttons feel a little cheapy, but the actual build of the base, the yoke, and it has a hot swappable grip where you can take the grip off or the yoke off. See, like that. It has their racing style, so they're going to be selling other yokes. That's all pro. Build quality. The second pro is it's not ridiculously big. It is quite long in terms of the base, but for a force feedback yoke, it's not that terrible, and it fits on my desk. The other pro I have is how much play you get with the pitch. And lastly, the desk clamps actually keep this thing pretty mounted, and you can adjust settings for how much force you want. If you have a desk and you're pulling the desk away, just lower the settings a little bit. That doesn't really happen for me, as I have like so much stuff on my desk weighing it down. I got autopilot panels, FMSs, keyboards, 3 screens, and all sorts of stuff, so it doesn't move the desk all that much. My cons. First con is time to ship. I purchased this yoke you're seeing right now July 3rd. It is, I don't even know what day it is, August 14th, and this came yesterday. So shipping time is a very long time. Second con, as I said, the gear knobs and stuff feel quite cheap, but that's because most of the money you're spending goes into the grip, the shaft, the base, the actual force feedback portion of it. The third con is a pro con. It's kind of undeciphered right now just because the software needs work. There is a lot of stuff in that software, and I think they need some tutorials on how to use it. So I'd put that in a con pro type of a thing. So if you want a force feedback yoke and you don't have that much money, save an extra $300-400. If you're gonna buy a TCA yoke, save $300-400 extra, and then just buy yourself this. If you want a pendular feeling yoke that is force feedback, this won't give you that. You'll have to wait for the Winwing one. That's kind of my little pros and cons right now. I don't know if I should buy this one or wait for the Winwing. Yeah, so the Winwing one that I felt at the expo was amazing. However, it is huge, and I don't know where I would even put that. I run a setup where I fly Airbus, or I play Call of Duty and Battlefield, then I play the CRJ, and I have this kind of flip-floppy setup, and I don't have enough room for like multiple setups. So this allows me, which is another pro, to just unclamp it from my desk, put it to the side, and then bring it back when I want it. The Winwing one is quite ginormous, and you're gonna mount their rudder pedals to the base to use the pedals. Like, there's not much you can really do with that, to my knowledge, unless you're gonna put wheels on the bottom or something. I don't know, but that's why I went ahead and got this early, just because my TCA yoke did break and I needed a yoke, and this was a great price for a force feedback yoke, which I've never had. Kraken on the vertical stream says, nicely done, Captain. Hey, thanks, appreciate it. We'll get another landing view for you guys here. I'll bring you to the center, so you can see centerline control is kind of name of the game, which doesn't look that great right now, but let's go ahead, go over here. It's quite the crab angle. I think 2024 does a better job of how much crab would actually be there. So I needed a little bit more of the left aileron, and you can see that gear doing that thing. That doesn't really happen in real life too much. So let's go ahead and try again. I'm gonna pause the replay. I think this is a little close to take an airplane, but we'll try it. We'll go no, we'll press stop, record, yes. Do that all quickly. Yeah, I was a bit too far away.
Don't sink. 50, 40,
oh, it's still in reverse.
don't sink.
All right, well,
10.
yeah, all my controls are messed up there, so we'll press replay again. And we'll press pause. We'll bring it all the way back here. Bring the thrust up a little bit. We'll press stop replay, record, and yes.
50, 40, don't sink. 20, 10.
A lot of left aileron in. There we go. That looked better. And then you'd crack your reversers and do all that. I'm gonna just do a replay real quick. You guys can see it. Why is it not working? Let's see. Replay. Pause. I think I clicked something I shouldn't have clicked. Boeing yoke can be steering wheel now. Actually, the left and right is what's broken, so not really. I don't know why I can't move my view anymore. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I just can't do anything anymore. Let's see, chase plane. Yeah, I can't go on the flight deck anymore. Can't go to drone camera. Alright, well, I'll try to give you guys a... There we go. I'll give you this. The gear was down, just it won't be in the replay. Needed about this much left aileron to keep that centered. That's quite realistic. And see, it still does that. Hey, there's the gear. See, it does that little wobble. In real life, it doesn't do that wobble. This is a max crosswind demonstration. That was 35 knots of max crosswind. Let's go ahead. I think I have the settings pretty decent on the RJ in 2020. Again, guys, if you buy the CRJ, or sorry, if you buy the Moza yoke, please use my link down below, or anything else you guys buy on Contrail or ProDesk Sim. I'm using the ProDesk Sim CRJ throttles right now. That's these. So the ProDesk Sim CRJ throttles has the climb detent, Toga, max power, has all the spoiler detents, and has the flap detent as well. So it clicks onto the Honeycomb Bravo. And if they're having a massive sale, I have a 737 coming with the ProDesk Sim. I also have 727 and Airbus throttles coming. So if you guys want stuff from ProDesk Sim, I have a link and a discount code for you down below as well. But what I was going to say is, if you guys buy the Moza yoke, DM me on Discord and I can give you my CRJ throttle, or sorry, my CRJ yoke settings. I have no Cessna in there. Propellers. And hopefully you enjoy my settings. So if you have the yoke, just give me a shout. We're going to try a Cessna. This is your classic 172. The flight model in the 172 is quite terrible, but we're going to see how it goes. George says, my con is the yokes tend to be the pitch travel, but that one looks nice. Yeah, no, this has a lot of travel. Yeah, a lot of travel. I fly mostly GA, so I think that one is fine for me. You're good. Yeah, if you fly GA, this is it. I mean, in all honesty, when you're flying an airliner, you don't have too much force feedback. It's all hydraulic. It's all hydraulic pressured yoke, right? So you don't have too much force feedback, but you will have a little bit in terms of if a wind gust brings your wing up or something and you were mid-turn, you'll feel, you know, a little bit stuff like that, but it won't be as much as a G airplane like this would be. Okay, we're going to turn chase plane off, and we're going to use Toby eye tracker. Notice, guys, I look right, screen goes right, I look left, screen goes left. I'm actually going to slow that down a little bit as it's a little aggressive. Toby. Sensitivity. Bring that down. There we go. Don't know why I can't move my view, but anyways. Huh. Alright, well, do it like this for the time being. I used to be an instructor, so I'm gonna fly from the right-hand seat. Bring the flaps up and do this. We'll get rid of this, get rid of this. That's all fine. Don't have a mixture knob right now in my setup, but we're just gonna try it like this. We'll turn Toby back on. Oh, it resets me. Alright. Well, I guess not. Let's see. Hop in Vat, I'll join the pattern with you. Yeah, no, I'm good. We're gonna be going all over the place, so there we go. Yeah, if I can go up a little bit. Before, my controls used to work with Toby on. I don't know why Toby now it doesn't work. Alright, anyways, that's good enough, I guess. So we're gonna fly this airplane. We'll make sure the parking brake is off. So what's cool, I don't have a profile for this yet. Let me get Moza software out. Which, by the way, guys, if you want to see the Moza software, I can show you here. Make another window capture. That's the Moza software right here. So we're gonna go over here. These are my presets I made right here. This is my CRJ one for 2020 or 2024 actually. Let's go ahead and get the 172. This is for the AB9, so it's not really for this. Let's see if we can find one for the Yoke. There we go. Let's download this. Let's see how good this does. Notice the Yoke moving. So watch this, guys. I saw this at the EXPO, which I thought was really cool. Turn that off. There we go. Turn Toby eye tracker off for the time being. Put these Yokes back. Whoa, that's crazy. No, that's way too heavy. There's 172 Yoke is not that heavy. Let me go ahead and turn that down. But what I want to show real quickly before I do is, as I add thrust, right now this Yoke is silently jittering. As the RPM is very low, the timing isn't that good of the engine. As I add a bit of thrust, or power in the 172, I guess it's called, the vibrating smoothly kind of starts to dial out a little bit. And if I hold the brakes and add all the way power, let's see if it works. Oh no, I guess we'll have to start having some actual in the sim, we have to start having airflow. Let me do it like this. Put the Yoke back down. I'll start moving forward quite quickly. See that? As we get quicker and the elevator starts to move at the back. I think that's pretty cool. And it just becomes alive. So if you're flying GA, this is a lot better for GA. I can already feel like a huge difference in how good this feels for GA. It's a little, yeah, so much better. You can actually get a lot of feedback from this Yoke now. In the airliners, I don't have that much feedback. I have force, but I don't actually have the feedback part of it. Let's put our right rudder in there. And we're gonna turn chase plane off, so I'll get Toby eye tracker out. Setting a little low, but that's okay, I guess. And this is the 172. I think that's an S model in the sim, so the VY would be 74 from memory. And we're going to turn crosswind. The pro for me is that the least in my country, Portugal, it's very easy to find Moza products on any tech store. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, Winwing and Moza both have a problem where they have a lot of people wanting their products, and unfortunately they don't have the ability to ship that many products out. There's Brampton over there. I'll go ahead and turn downwind here. But I can definitely say to you guys that the yoke in the Cessna feels a lot better than it does in the RJ. And I think it's just because it's very hard to give you a feedback from an airliner. You don't get too much to begin with. You get a bit, but you don't get too much to begin with. But this feels really good. Very good in the Cessna here. And I hold my altitude a bit better. Let's go ahead and set my Toby off, and I can get a bit of a better view. There we go. I think it's a little sensitive in the Cessna, so let me go ahead and go controls. Maybe I can do it through Moza, actually. So these are all the settings you can do. There's tons of stuff you can do with this thing. Tons and tons of stuff. Just gonna make a new profile for myself. We'll save that. And let's go ahead and go Moza sensitivity. Let's just dial this down. Oh, you know what? This is gonna affect my RJ. All right, let's go ahead and do back to nothing. Give it a little bit of dead zone in the CRJ. And we're gonna press default. No, stop. Yeah, it's fine. Go away. I only have 2. All right, well, we're going to go CRJ, open preset manager. Let's duplicate. 172. Need some water here. All right, sensitivity. Let's bring this down to about 10. Nothing crazy. For both pitch and roll, somewhere around there, close enough. Let's try that. It's still a bit quick to react in the actual sim. Try it again. Go to -40s. And what we're also going to do in the Moza software, we're going to try it real quick, but we're also most likely going to have to turn down the torque a little bit. Thank you guys for all subscribing. Really appreciate that. Sean, welcome on the vertical stream. That feels better. Pitch probably still needs a little bit more. What we're going to do is turn down the how hard the motors are. All right, we're below 110. Let's bring the power back and we'll go flap 10. I can feel the shaking in the control column there. Yeah, that's actually very enjoyable. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I actually enjoy doing this with this yoke better than flying the RJ. Flying the RJ does not do this yoke justice, I'll be honest. Okay, we're gonna go flap 20. I have to fix my Toby settings, and once I do, I'll be able to actually use it a bit better. Okay, there's a runway there in the corner of my eye. Can't really see it without without turning. little high, so we'll go a little bit lower. Usually how that works, I guess. Alright, we're on final here. And we'll go ahead and press our flaps to 30, full flap. Trying to maintain about 100, or 100, use RJ speeds. We're trying to maintain about 60 knots. This thing is very slippery. I'm at idle power still, and it's still doing 70s. That's fine. There's 60. We'll add a bit of power for that. Gonna trim this off. It becomes a little too stiff without power, but definitely pretty cool. Let's go around, or let's try again an overshoot here. Definitely a lot nicer to land with this than the TCA Yoke, that's for sure. I'm gonna have to lower some more settings here. Because when I went in on that final with power idle, it was like a lot of force required, which is not a thing. Doesn't need that much force to pull. And in real life, in that flare, you're a bit more pulled back, if that makes sense. It's less force and more actual pulling. I'm gonna head off. Hey, thanks, Sam, for stopping by. Have a great rest of your stream. Appreciate that, my friend. Thank you. Gabriel, welcome, welcome. Finally got the Yoke cam. I know. Finally is the right word for this. My AY210 just broke itself inside the base in a self-test. That sounds terrible. I'm sorry, my guy. How did it break in a self-test? I would get on the horn with Moza as fast as possible with that. That's very, very bad. Make sure you're not like me and forgot that the power button was off and thought the Yoke wasn't working. Because I woke up today and I'm like, oh my god, it doesn't work anymore. And then I'm like, oh, there's a power button on the Yoke itself. Fire, can we do a power off 180? Sure. It's really hard to do a power off 180 without some sort of head tracking, so we'll try to keep this on. I don't know why I can't move my view up and down though. For some reason I can't. Yeah, the force feedback you get from the general aviation airplanes are a lot better. Alright, so you say you lost your engine. I'm gonna pitch for 65. Actually, it's B70 in a... Oh, that's cool. The Yoke starts to vibrate a lot. That's really cool. As the engine timing is a little worse. So we're doing a simulated engine failure off the downwind, or also known as a P180, Precision 180. And we're gonna go ahead and turn into the field here. We're not gonna add any flap until we know we've made the field. This thing seems to descend a little steeper than it would in real life, but that's okay. Real life, you'll get about 500 a minute to maintain. This one's doing like 7s. So it doesn't look like we're gonna make it just yet. We're gonna add a little bit more into the runway there. This is where Toby shines. We're gonna make this field, so we're gonna go flap 10. Do a bit of a slipping turn, flap 20. Flap 30. Okay, letting go to the slip. Can't see anymore. I can't see. All right. Well, we made it. I can't see where I'm going because my view's all screwed up, but there's a precision 180. So I would teach those in real life all the time. Obviously in real life I can pop my head out to see where I am. Flaps are up. We're gonna go ahead and pitch for or rotate at 55 again. My interesting thought was always to start thinking about incident when I see a flight simulator too. I don't really know what you mean by that, my friend. Sorry. Can't see runway 180. Yeah, exactly. No, guys, if we lost an engine right now in real life, you'd land straight ahead. You do not want to turn. You do not want to make a 180. Let's go up. Hey, I can see it better now. So what I find is, and there's somewhere probably in the software that's doing this, and I see what they're trying to achieve, but when you go power idle, obviously your controls will get a lot stiffer as you're getting a little bit slower. Not stiffer, they get more sluggish. In the simulation of it, I'm having to put an exuberant amount of force to do my flare, which I know they're trying to say now your airflow from the prop is less, so it's a bit more force to pull, but it's a little too much force to pull. So I have to find that setting, but this yoke shines with GA airplanes for sure. Yeah, I've been emailing back and forth since it happened. Lots of repeating automated. Oh, that sucks. That's so bad. I'm sorry, Pat. You're scaring me for what's going to happen with this thing as well. I'm so sorry to hear that. Hopefully they'll send you a new one. But if you guys are ever doing circuits in a 172, most people know this, but the little trick that you want to do is you always want to maintain the runway at half your strut. So it's a little hard to see from this side, but you want to have half of the strut and then the runway. Sorry for all the lag. If your runway is over here, you're too close. Oh, it's lagging so much. There we go. And if your runway is up there, you're too far. You want it half the strut, and if you lose an engine, you will make it. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this CRJ/172 stream. I'm going to be flying with this a little bit more and getting my GA airplanes working, and we'll come back with you guys in a different stream, probably next week or 2 weeks from now, on some more stuff I've figured out with this yoke. So until then, I appreciate you guys all tuning in and watching. We're going to do a landing, and then we are going to call it a day. And again, guys, all the links in the description are there for you to save some money or help the channel out. I'm using Tobii eye tracker to move my head around. The Moza yoke is what you're seeing witness right now. Did a pretty bad job of centerline there, but that's okay. ProDeath Sim CRJ throttles or any other throttles that you want to buy from them is going to be save you some money down in the description. Winwing, PU Air Korea, Skynet, ATC, whatever you guys want, all in the description down below. I might have a discount code as well, and if it's a discount code, I'll leave how much you're saving as well, so you'll save some money on some products. Getting rocked around a little bit, a little low, that's okay. Flat full. This feels really good in this in the GA aircraft, like a 172. This feels amazing. A little hard to get the feedback from an airliner, but in GA, it's where this yoke really shines. too much. All right, guys. Well, really appreciate you guys all stopping in and watching along. And hopefully you got to witness something you may have never seen before, either in the CRJ stream part, maybe even in the P180 we just did, or maybe you see some new hardware you liked. Thank you guys for all stopping in. We'll be streaming a lot more in about 2 weeks, as I have 6 days coming off, and I plan to do some more GA ops, and we're also going to be doing some I got the Piper, not the Piper, sorry, I got the Aerostar from A2A, so we'll be taking a look at that. 737 we'll be taking a look at that, also the Classic as well. And yeah, so a lot of cool stuff coming up, and with this Yoke as well. Appreciate you guys all stopping in. Thanks for subscribing and liking and donating, all you guys, what you guys do, and we'll see you guys in the next stream. Peace out. Later.